Good morning, my name is Joseph Cirilano, and this is my presentation on the Swissvale Food Pantry. I'm going to start off by talking about my service experience. During my high school career, I have volunteered in various communities. They include service trips to impoverished communities in Webster Spring, West Virginia, 2 trips to mustard seed orphanages in Jamaica, caring for orphan children and adults, and many other volunteer events as a result of being a member of the executive board for the sign ministry at my high school. After going on these 2 mission trips, I set out to help out my local community because I felt like I had neglected my own community and I needed to get involved in my local area. I wanted to do my share and help out my community. So I decided to help out the Swissvale Community Food Pantry. What is the Swissvale Food Pantry? Well, the Swissvale Food Pantry is a small food pantry located on Noble Street in Swissvale. It is housed in an old convenience store. The Swissvale Food Pantry has been in existence for over 30 years, with leadership and location changing multiple times over the years. They have a website which describes their mission perfectly. We distribute monthly allowance of food to needy Swissvale individuals and families. The food we distribute is provided to us by a combination of public and private funds. The food pantry is currently being led by 2 local men, Nelson Kirksey and Dario Donatelli. They both dedicate countless hours to the food pantry, planning events, distributing food, and keeping the pantry in working order. Who does the food pantry serve? Well, the food pantry serves nearly 450 people each month. The clients come from Swissvale, Rankin, and North Braddock. They are of all ages and must be under the federal poverty guidelines to receive assistance. The clients must register with photo ID, proof of residency, and proof of income from that year. Participants are tracked for being veterans as well as disabled, and this gives the food pantry more funding for serving these populations. Each participant lists each person living in the household, and they are given more based on those numbers. How often does the food pantry serve? Well, the food pantry offers 2 distributions a month, with each client being able to attend once a month. There is a food emergency in the household, they may participate in both distributions. Each month, the clients sign in and go through the pantry picking the items they want, but are limited by quantity. The food items such as meat, milk, juice, beans, canned goods, paper products, fresh vegetables, and fruits are all offered. All these items are brought to the food pantry from the food bank based on the number of participants they serve that month. The pantry also sponsors a produce market where anyone in the community can come get fresh fruit and vegetables donated from various grocery stores and farms in the local area. How does the food pantry stay in business? Well, the food pantry gets its funding from different sources. About 10% from the Swissvale Borough, 40% from grants, and about 50% from fundraising. There are no paid employees at the Swissvale Food Pantry, and about 40 volunteers come help out doing various projects every month. It is located in the business district of Swissvale. This location was picked for its size and great central location. Rent costs $800 a month with utilities running about $500 a month. People learn about the food pantry from their website, other food banks, Swissvale newsletters, local church bulletins, and by word of mouth. The Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. The Swissvale Food Pantry is part of a network of food banks all over the Greater Pittsburgh area. This organization is called the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, and they exist to help support communities just like Swissvale. they have a very clear mission, and that is, quote, to feed people in need and mobilize our community to eliminate hunger. They have locations just like Swissvale, just like the Swissvale Food Pantry all over Pittsburgh, and they are making a huge difference. This past year, they distributed healthy food for 34 million meals in 11 county service area in the Pittsburgh area. The Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. This shows how progress is continually being made in our local area of Pittsburgh. But just like my local food bank, the Swissvale Food Pantry, all the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Banks are made possible by their volunteers. Our supporters and volunteers are the backbone of what we accomplish, and they find many ways to lend a hand, quoting the Pittsburgh Community Food Bank website. By volunteering at the Swissvale Food Pantry and other food pantries, you are not only helping your local community, but you are contributing to a more significant cause, benefiting the greater Pittsburgh area. How I found out about the food pantry? Well, I personally found out about the food pantry through Mr. Donatelli. He helped coach my cross-country team during my time at Central Catholic. When Mr. Donatelli asked me to come help out at the food pantry, it was during my junior year summer, and I needed some service hours. So I said yes. Why I decided to serve at the pantry? Well, my first reason was simply because it was convenient. The food pantry was located right in my community, and, well, it was easy to get to. But the second reason was because I needed service hours for school to complete my requirements for the LaSalle Ministry Executive Board. At first, I was unsure what to expect since I had never helped out in my own community before. But I was open to new experiences. This was when I realized the Swissvale Food Pantry is a special place that was much deeper than just the distribution of food that took place there. One person in particular that really makes a food pantry a special place is Nelson. He is always in a good mood, and he never fails to impress me when he somehow knows just about everyone who walks into the food pantry every distribution. What the food pantry is doing right? Well, the Swissvale Food Pantry is a great place, and it serves the people of Swissvale, Rankin, and North Braddock well. Like most food pantries, the resources, volunteers, and community make up the backbone of the food pantry. There is a lot that they are doing right at the food pantry, from providing a safe, welcoming place for local members of the community. But just like most food pantries, they can only do so much to help those in need, since the resources are limited and they are short-staffed most of the time. Obviously, if it was possible, some suggestions I would have to improve the experience at the food pantry, would be to have more food donated and distributed monthly. One distribution a month simply isn't enough to support a family. Another suggestion would be to recruit more volunteers, especially younger members of the community. Some improvements / suggestions I would make. After interviewing Mr. Donatelli, one thing he had said stuck out to me, quote, I believe we are doing a very good job serving our clients, but we are only meant to be a supplement, not the answer to constant or long-term needs of individuals or families. This is where my idea for what could be improved at the food pantry came from. I think a change that would not only be good for the food pantry, but it would also benefit the whole community would be a support group. This support group would come into the food pantry during monthly distributions, and before anyone could receive their food, they would have to meet with one of the members of the group. In this meeting, they would have to discuss how they are doing. This discussion would span from talking about jobs, family, financial issues, health insurance, and any other social services that would be needed to help them get back on their feet. This would be the easiest thing to implement. This wouldn't be the easiest thing to implement, but I believe it would be beneficial since it would help people become more self-sufficient and possibly not even have a need for the food pantry anymore. My experience at the Swissvale food pantry and in service in general. Through volunteering at the pantry and all over, I have learned to appreciate the life and dignity of each person. We are all one family and should treat each other that way, despite our differences, and of course we should avoid stereotyping people. By experiencing the daily lives, struggles, and stories of the people living in poverty, I understand what these populations are going through, and in turn want to help instead of blaming them for their circumstances. This is why I believe the Swissvale Food Pantry and food pantries all over are so important to their respective communities. Not only do they help support the local community, but they also spread awareness and allow people to better understand the needs of their own community. Thank you. That is all. That is my presentation on the Swissvale Food Pantry. Have a great day.